Let's see.
All right, I'm good.
I'm trying to see me. It's loading up. It says setting up the redirect.
That's cool. Is this how many times have you used this program?
Yo, it's Zoom. We use
All right,
it
I'm
all the
good.
time. Do you see? Man,
I'm
you
trying
can
to see
hardly
me.
see
It's
the
loading up. It says setting up
It's like a
the
delay.
redirect.
All right.
That's cool. Is this how many times have you used this program?
So it's like a delay.
Yo, it's Zoom. We use it all the time. Do you see? Man, you trying to see me. It's loading up. It says setting up.
All right.
It's
So
like a
either
delay.
way, man, we
All right.
That's cool. Is this how many times have you used this program?
So it's like a delay.
Yo, Zoom. We use it all the time. Do you see? Man, you trying to see me. It's loading up. It says setting up.
All right.
It's
So
like a
either
delay.
way, man, we
All right.
That's cool. Is this how many times have you used this program?
So it's like a delay.
Yo, Zoom. We use it all the time. Do you see? Man, you trying to see me.
All right, let me see what happens there.
Yeah, it's like looping.
All right, so we good. I think we probably had to pause that one, man. You know, this is the first time we're using the joint, man. So we gotta get
That's
used
right.
to it. It is what it is, man. So we jumping out here, man. But of course, what's up? What's up? Of course,
Happening, my brother.
your boy Richie Rich. Let me get my stuff in. Did I get my stuff in, man?
Good.
What's up? Of course, it's me, your boy Richie Rich at Consumer Appliance Support. Shoot another awesome video, cause that's what we do. What's up? Of course, it's your boy Richie Rich, man, at Consumer Appliance Support. We doing something new today. We're starting to go live. This is something that we had a great idea, just to create, I would say, each and every week, possibly each and every Monday. Me, Richie Rich, Marquise, my man, my homeboy, my brother, just to give you guys some insight on Appliance, whatever review ideas that we might have. If you decide that you want to purchase a new appliance, we'll help you guys with that. We also have appliance repair tips that we can give you. So we're going to just introduce ourselves, let you know who we are, let you know a little bit about the experiences that we have, and then we're just going to take it from there. Marquise, you go first.
Thank
Tell
you,
us
sir.
a
Thank you.
little bit about you, man, who you are, and all the experience that you have in the appliance repair.
All right, great. My name is Marquise, the repair extraordinaire, as I like to say. Talk a lot of trash with that one.
Right.
Been in the industry for about 18 years. Started in my early 20s. Pretty much started with basic stoves and things like that. Wanted to increase my knowledge. So I started tinkering with more appliances, washers, dryers, basically anything that a person was willing to teach me. I was open and available to receive the knowledge. And here it is, a bunch of years later. It's a great industry to be in. Thank y'all for purchasing them, because the one thing about them I know for sure is it's going to break.
Oh yeah. They break all the time. And like you said before, the business is booming, man. Within the last couple of years, throughout the whole entire pandemic, it's been a lot of people at home. Of course, we had, especially in the state that we're in, kids was at home, so a lot of the parents and the kids, everybody using the appliance. And over time, they do wear out from you just using it that much, for being at home that much, which is kind of crazy. But it allowed the industry to like catapult to a avenue or a way that I've never seen it before. I've never been this busy as far as appliance repair a day in my life. And it's so much work, it's not enough people to do it, right? And that's where a lot of our expertise come from. Like Marquis said, he's been doing it for a while. I've been doing it since 2004, right? Went straight to trade school, learned first job that I got was fixing microwaves. After that, I worked at another company, appliance repair company. Everybody knows Sears, so we can say that for a little bit. I don't think that's going to be too bad. But I worked for there with you for several years, and then we branched out and did our own thing. So like I said, on the channel, we review a lot of appliances, man, so that people will get an idea what's the best appliance. Because we go to people's homes all the time, right? And they ask you after you repair an appliance, man, I done got this fixed so many times before, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. But all right. And they say, well, what's the best appliance to get? Because sometimes you're not able to fix those appliances because it might be too cost effective, it costs too much money, or the part is no longer available, or the customer just decided they want to get a new unit. And they always ask, what's the best one to get? All right. So these questions provoke us to have this, you could say this little podcast, a little radio, or this Zoom or YouTube live at least once a week. to help people to choose the right appliances, to know exactly what's wrong with it, what are some of the issues a lot of these appliances might have, and whatever tips that we can have, because we've been doing it, like I said, since '04, so that's about 18 years. So all that time from working and grinding, you know what I mean, all that experience, we'd be able to help the people and try to direct them in the right way. All right, so of course, Marquise introduced himself a little bit. My name is Richie Rich. Some of you already know me from my channel, but I've been fixing appliances again since '04, so that's about 18 years. I started in my early, straight out of high school, went to trade school for like 18 months, and I've been fixing appliances since then. All right, so I got a lot of experience fixing appliances over time. Like I said, Marquise started his own appliance repair company. What's your appliance repair company? What is it called?
Tinker.
Tinker Appliance. And then of course, I started mine, Richard's Appliance Repair. So I've been doing that for the last 10 years, about to be 11 years now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's been a little minute. It's been a little minute since we rocking and rolling. But like I said, we gained a lot of experience in the appliance repair field. And like I said, because of people asking questions and we wanting to help, we figure we can create this and help people pick the right appliances and know what to buy. And then normally we'll have like a topic each and every week that we're going to talk about, just to give us an idea which way we should go, because this is the first of many. So tonight's topic, if we're looking at it, right, the new appliances versus the old. All right, so this is a conversation a lot of people might have, get off my lawn. And then you got the millennial talking about, we lit and all this other little stuff that we said. But there's a difference between the two appliances, man. So I'm gonna let you speak on that for a little bit. I don't want to take over the conversation, but give me your thoughts and ideas about new appliances versus old in general. What you think about
it? Well, from my perspective and my humble opinion, of course, we know in the repair field, most people who've been around for a while or who've been in the business for decent amount of time, even if you've been in it for 3 to 5 years, you're going to see a nice rainbow of appliances in the age range. And the older ones, of course, they're built more rigid, like more tough. They have big motors if you're dealing with a dishwasher or a refrigerator. The compressor may be a little bit larger sometimes, like the newer Samsung is smaller. Everything's all efficient for the new way. But the old ones have one thing that remains consistent, and that's longevity. But by switching over to this whole efficient way of life, everybody want to save water, they want to save electricity. Why? Because they want to save money. Yeah. And eventually, you've got to compromise longevity for efficiency somewhere, because these newer appliances, of course, are built with more plastic, more aluminum. They don't have thick aluminum. It's whatever somebody came up with that's a little bit lighter, which means they can produce more of it. The parts are more plastic, so that means the gears wear out faster. So with the older ones, you had a lot more. I want to say it may have used aluminum and maybe the gears and things like that, which allowed them to work a little bit longer versus the plastic one where the teeth would wear down. It would still stay sharp in a more metallic one. But in my humble opinion, once again, the older ones rule. Like they're a little annoying because they're loud, they're clunky, but you could get easily the average appliance when I first entered the industry, along with you, Brother Rich. You could easily, it wasn't nothing new. And that was in my first year back in 2003, 2004 in the industry. It was nothing to see a 15-year-old, 20-year-old stove. Yeah. Whereas though nowadays we're definitely seeing 3 years, 1 year, even the refrigerators, 1.5 year, 2 year, need a compressor, or they need a fan motor, or, the drawers are breaking so quickly, and all of the, the flimsy plastic. So I think the new school is more all about the look. Mm-hmm. The old ones had look and style, but they were more built for longevity. Okay. You went from having avocado green and canary yellow and all that. Now you got black stainless.
Man, where they get the multi colors from, but that was that wasn't proper. That's not the right thing to do there. But I do agree with you. So you're basically stating is almost like, without really giving out your answer, because I don't really want you to give out your answer because we're gonna have a conversation about it. You're basically saying, you could say in a nutshell, you get what you pay for in a sense. Because back in the day, the appliances were a lot heavier, they were a lot bigger, they were more bulkier. At the end of the day, our mindset has shifted. But prior to that, we wanted stuff to last a long time. We understand that if we paid for something, us paying our money for it, we get reimbursed in how long we had it for, how long it worked for, less repairs and less issues. That's how customers actually gauge the appliance that they purchase. Now, you're getting appliances on average, it's about 10 to 15 years because, like you said, the material has changed, right? It's not as sturdy, it's not as bulky. Like if you go install an old dishwasher that's like 25, 30 years old, you need like 2 or 3 people. It is so heavy, it's so big. Nowadays with the new ones, you can basically do that yourself. You don't really need that much help. It's not as bulky, it's not as big. The component is not as durable. Back in the day, dishwashers, if you say even dryers and washers, dryers still do, but most of them use belts. Some of the new ones at times don't really use belts, right? So it's a different in style, it's a different in mentality in the way that it works and mentality, because we have adapted the new wave to understand that, okay, I want to save some money, I want to save some bread. In order for me to save some money and save some bread, we got to make appliances that, like you said, that's lighter, more efficient, in energy, water source, electricity, all these different things. And when you do that, you are stripping away from the actual fundamental surroundings around the appliance that, you know what I mean, it wears down and it's not as durable, it's not as strong. So those are some of the things that we got to focus on when we're looking at appliances in these days. And that's really the most fundamental differences between the two, is because of the materials that's being made. It's not as durable and it's not meant to be, right? So and then look at this. Let me just ask this question. How many people really want to have an appliance for 10 or 15 years? Normally, you will want to change everything around because you want new appliances, because you figure after a while they're old. So you want an upgrade. Most people upgrade their kitchen. They update their kitchen, so they want to update all the appliances, so that comes with it. So most people at times don't really want the appliance to last that long, because over time you get tired of seeing it.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Especially with the way things is now, like I said, it's all about, a lot of stuff is very visual. So, you know, stainless steel was the big rave, and so people start noticing how many fingerprints it keeps on it. Right. You know, black was the new wave because they figured, well, if it's black, you won't see it's that dirty. Then they get the white stove because the white just looks clean, it just pops. So we're dealing with a generation now, and I'm saying a generation because I'm 38, and our customers, of course, range from different realms, like of the age group. But let's say the average person probably owns a property around about 20, 21. So we deal with somebody from that age group all the way up to whatever, you know, maybe even 100. I had customers
60, 80, yeah.
So, but the thing is that you can see the difference in the mentality. Whereas though that 80, 90, maybe even 100-year-old, they can remember having a stove for 50 years.
Right.
Well, that 20-year-old is like, they go and look at the price of the stove, and they're like, well, the nice fancy one that I want is going to be $1,100. Now I want to fix the one I got because I know it's going to be like $300.
Right.
But the whole perspective that you threw out there with the you know, the look, and they just want to upgrade, is more of a younger group of people who are doing that. Right. And then other people who just work really hard and they're like, look, this thing been here for 25 years since we built the house. So people want to change over just to fit in, or they want to sell the property and things like that. And the looks can be deceiving because you do get these larger, fancier, prettier appliances, and then you get grease in the door of your stove, and don't nobody want to fix it. You know, I mean, well, not fix it, but clean it. You know, you got to take apart the whole door to take out the grease. At one point, they didn't have windows on stoves. It just was a door.
Right.
It just closed and it was a door. You open it up to look in there. Or somebody wanted to see the cake bake or whatever, so they don't have to keep opening it. So a lot of this has evolved. And most of the time, not just to single out the younger crowd, but some people do know about.
We're part of the younger crowd.
Yeah. And you know, like, you know, the millennials, like you said, Lady McNitty and all that. But they, they see things like some of them, they can still remember seeing that old stove. But a good portion of them are just like, man, that's old. I need something new. I want to do something digital. I want to have this. So they see it, especially if they're very techy, like them those refrigerators that had like a tablet on there. I know everybody that's seen that talks about it, and people are raving about it, like that's so cool, this, that, and the third. Without realizing you pay $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for something that everything relies on that door. And if that door breaks, you don't have a fridge.
Right.
You see what I mean? So we simplify the circuitry in a sense to one part of the refrigerator, but once that one part is damaged, now you done already spent like $3,000 to $5,000. Now that part broke, you don't have a warranty. Well, that part's $2,000. So do you say I'm gonna break even, or just have a broken stove? Am I going to pay for the repair, or am I just going to say, well, it had a long ride, that's it? That's the perspective.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And just to pinpoint some thoughts that went through my head, we talk about kits, keep it simple, stupid. A lot of the times is that, like you said, the older stove didn't have a window. Okay, somebody had a bright idea, say, yo, let me just put a window right here on this new door. You can actually see it without opening the door, which is a great idea, because every time you already know as a tech, you open up the door, you're already losing 100 to 200 degrees every time you open the door when you're cooking the oven. That's why it's best to leave the food in there and use the light and turn the light on and just look on the inside without actually opening the door. Right? So that great idea, now you have a broken glass. Because over time, you're heating up the oven, the glass breaks, now you got a problem. So with the older units, they were a lot simpler. If you just wanted to wash your clothes or put food in the refrigerator or wash your dishes, it was easy. You press maybe 3 or 4 buttons, hit start, and it worked. That's it. Now, a lot of the appliances are incorporating a lot of the technology that's in our phone. Like you just talk about the Samsung refrigerator, right? Samsung, let's be honest, let's put it out there. Their refrigerator's been given some issues as of late between them and LG. They battling for who is their compressors just not holding up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you out there in the field and you're realizing these things, that you have in a refrigerator with all that stuff that you can do, then once that whole entire door is gone, your refrigerator is shot. Right? Now you're looking at replacing the whole entire door, which prior to that was just a regular door. You probably replaced the door hinges or a gasket. Now, if you replace the entire door, you're talking about $1,500 for a door that you're going to know you need, because it has everything to deal with your ice, your refrigerator temperature, the camera, the lights, everything, touch screen, everything that you do on there. Once that door dies, then you're going to have issues. Like I said, let's talk about the topic of talking about KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. One of the things that we've learned when we were techs, that's what they used to tell us, because over time you can overthink the room. So they say, keep it simple. Go through the processes of understanding what it is that you need to do to solve the problem. So with these appliances, what are you suggesting? You think that, I know that the older ones keep it simple, stupid. Give me your ideas and your thoughts of what you think about what I just said about the simpler, the better, and it's easier in comparison to the complicated and all this fancy stuff that's going on with the new ones.
Yeah. Well, I think that the simplicity, I 100% agree. Because when I look at a unit, and you do great reviews, by the way, I'm not just saying that because I'm your brother, but you do.
Oh, you better say it because you my brother. What you mean?
No, I said I ain't just saying that because of your brother.
Hey,
I'm saying
it's perfectly fine. You my brother. You can.
Well, anyway, you give some great reviews, and the one thing that I always pay attention to is the fact that you highlight features, and the features are only useful to me if you're going to use it. There's no use in me buying a stove that has a convection bake, and I don't really bake that often. It's no use in me having a
Wi-Fi
dishwasher. Right. I said dishwasher that do like steam clean and all this stuff. But I might have to compromise my opinion on that particular option, given the fact that it has a great interior. It has a lot of places for me to put the dishes. It's very organized in the rack style. So I might say, all right, I'll get the one with the steam, but I'm not going to use the steam. So you're buying these things with all of these options on them. And if you're not really using them, it might be the one that actually breaks. Like you're not using it.
You're not using
it. It might just malfunction. So for me, I always think simple is better. all of my appliances personally are simple, but I can't deny the fact that I kind of like the newer looks and the newer designs because it's just so sleek. You don't have to press buttons hard, you just touch it. You know, things like that. It's just a whole new look. It's a fresh new look. And that's why I keep saying a lot of it's visual because you're looking at this thing constantly. You know, I've been in places where they're still using pilot stoves from like 1980. They don't care about how the stove looks. They're like, all right, the joint cooks my it cooks my chicken and my turkey and my fish and whatever. It works.
Yeah.
And that's all they're concerned about. And they don't look forward to replacing it. They actually, as you know as well as I do, bro, they actually dread having to replace it because they see the reviews. They hear their children talking about the new ones. They hear that that washing machine just broke for the 4th time. And it's still under warranty, so we got to fix it until they're going to want to replace it. You know, all of these things that continually happen. So I usually base appliance purchasing and just appliances in general on what are you going to, when you're purchasing and when you're getting one, purchasing, I keep saying purchasing, how is it going to work for your life? How is it going to work for your lifestyle? Are you going to use that that washing machine that has a little small washer on top and then it's got a big washer? You know, are you going to use the SONY rinse on your dishwasher? Are you going to use the potato button on your microwave? You know, are you going to use the ice and water out of your dispenser on the refrigerator? You know, are you going to use steam refresh on your dryer? Are you going to use these things? And that's where I pick and choose from there. So my opinion still older, simpler, I do enjoy, but I'm on the fence because the newer ones are definitely more attractive. And if it suits my lifestyle, I would have to definitely go with the newer just because the older ones are loud. They're not as efficient at all. But one thing I do know, just a little tidbit of information, the old dishwashers, maybe from the 70s and maybe early 80s and stuff, they achieved, a few of them achieved 160-degree wash cycle, rinse cycle, which now that's considered sanitized rinse. But they did that automatically and they only took an hour to run versus now you got to wait 3 hours.
All right, well, I'm gonna stop you there because I don't want to go too far. You know,
yes, sir.
In our conversation real quick. One question that came to mind what I was thinking about, man. You're talking about, because customers ask me all the time. If I go out for a washing machine, they're like, okay, so what's the best washing machine to get? To me, that's like asking, what do I want in a child, or what do I want in a wife? Or it's a difficult question to ask right away because I don't know what you want, right? Mm-hmm. So even with the channel that we do at Consumer Appliance Report, yeah, we put in a plug. Of course, we focus on like 4 features. You said functions and features. What can it actually do? All right, that's one. The price. Price is a big deal, right? How much is it going to really cost you to repair your appliance, and how much do you really want to spend? Because you have to look at these things when you're purchasing an appliance, because appliances realistically expensive as they're really expensive, right? Mm-hmm. And you got to think about that stuff as well. Customers also think about how much it's going to cost them to repair the unit, right? As far as the parts, what normally goes bad on this particular appliance. All right. And then, of course, the warranties, which is some of the stuff they know about, which is the manufacturer warranty, the 1 year. But most customers don't know that certain appliances have multiple year appliances, multiple warranty years on it provided by the manufacturer. So when we do our reviews, we're trying to break it down so that we can actually give them as much information that we possibly can to make sure they understand what appliance to get. Because it's a difficult thing. Like we look at a dishwasher, right? Somebody like, well, Rich, what's the best dishwasher? Well, what is it you want? You got some that's quiet with the decimal. The higher the decimal, the quieter it is. If you want a quiet dishwasher that you can watch TV in the same room and not even hear it, you won't have to spend money for that, right? Mm-hmm. An appliance nowadays is energy efficient, like we just talked about, right? Less energy, less water. You're gonna have to pay for that, right? If you want a dishwasher that does sanitize, you're gonna have to pay for that. If you want a dishwasher that has Wi-Fi connect that you can communicate on your phone, you're gonna have to pay for that. So the more stuff you add, it's just like buying a luxury car. The more stuff you add, comfortable seats, heated seats, massages, touchscreen, navigations, whatever you get on your car, everything that you get on a dishwasher is gonna be added in price, right? It's not the highest of the highest dishwashers are the ones that's extremely fully loaded with everything in it, right? But if you don't want that, then you're still gonna have to pay a reasonable price depending on what it is that you want when you're purchasing an appliance. And that's one of the things that we talk about a lot, is that I can't answer the question right away. It's just that I gotta get the sense of what is it that you want as a customer when you're purchasing an appliance. Then I can give you the best one. All right, so what are your thoughts on that? Picking an appliance, understanding what is it that you want, because it takes a lot for people to really choose an appliance, and it's a big deal because they cost so much money.
Yeah, like you said, you know, asking what they want. What do you want it to do? Because some people will simplify. Well, I want the dishwasher to wash my dishes.
Right.
Well, do you want it to be like a mediocre one where you'll be replacing it in 5 to 7 years?
Right.
Do you want something like a Bosch where you pay for the higher end, you know, probably about 1,400 to $2,000, and you won't have to replace it for 15, 20 years? But then you still have to find a technician or techs that know what they're working on,
Right,
because people don't like to touch it. You know, it's a foreign brand in a sense. But I'm on board with you with that. It's always about what you want. You know, if you say, well, I want a fridge that get cold. Well, do you want the fridge so you can tap on the door and you can see in it? Do you want a fridge that plays Pandora? Do you want a fridge that don't have a dispenser or ice maker?
Right.
It's all about what you want. So in my mind, when it comes down to that, I'm on speaking from my personal opinion. For me, when I'm shopping for anything like that, I'm looking for what's going to be useful and what can I, because it's like getting a fully loaded car and saying, I don't want a sunroof. Just like I said, you want a sunroof for the luxury, but then you buying a car that has all this other stuff. You're like, damn, but I really don't want that because it might leak. Well, if you buy this car, you got to get that. It's like, well, dang, you know, you're stuck in those positions. So I always look at how is when I buy this, how's this beneficial? Like the stove I have right now in the house is a very simple Frigidaire unit. It's very simple. You hit a button, you hit start, it bakes, you put 350, 400. But now I can go out and get one with a probe that you can stick in the meat and say, well, that meat's core needs to be 175 degrees for me to want to eat it, or it's medium rare at this. You can do that. Would I get it? It's not useful for me because I'm not going to be like, well, let me get the heat probe to cook my meat. Right. No, I don't need that. I'm just going to say, well, that's going to take about 45 minutes, and then I check the meat. You know, but with that machine, you don't have to think about it. So some people who are very particular about the way that they like their meats prepared, they might say, well, I need that probe because I know once I stick it in there, it's going to give me a direct feedback of what it is in the core, and I don't have to slice my meat. I'm not. So it's always about what's useful for you. Always about what's necessary you feel like in your house. Because I can go get a dishwasher right now that's got 3 buttons. It's going to have cycle, start, and cancel. 3 buttons. Right. And that dishwasher is going to clean those dishes. Now, for how long? I don't know. It's always a coin toss. You don't know. But that's as simple as it comes. And you might say, I just wanted to clean the dishes. So that's pretty much
what on our chat looking at our live while we talking. We got Jasmine and Patty.
Uh-oh. Hey, y'all.
Yeah,
I can't see on this side.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the love and support. Definitely. I just want to make sure it was going through that we'll be able to see it. Appreciate y'all. Hit the like button as well. But yeah, man. So we've talked a lot about new appliances, old appliances, what's best, all that type of stuff, man. So that's pretty good, right? Because like I said, it's a difficult thing. Depends on, again, it goes back to, it depends on what you want, and you got to make a choice. We got so many options right now, right?
Yes.
So many options. I've seen a dryer. I think I sent you the picture. That's a dryer and it has a compressor in it, like a refrigerator.
Heat pump.
Right.
Heat pump. Yeah.
So when you see stuff like that, you can only imagine the price that you're going to spend for something like that. Like, I wouldn't even want that. That's way too much. Like you said, I'm like you. We both like the same. We're the same age. I like it simple, easy. And I do love the technology because of everything that it does, because it does have some great things with it. All right. So we can talk about the advantages of both the old and the new. All right. So we can just dig into that a little bit. Like you talked about earlier, right? When you're talking about the older dishwashers back in the day. So this was in like the early 2000s. A dishwasher would run for how long?
Probably about an hour and a half. 90 minutes.
90 minutes. That's it. And if it ran more than 90 minutes, right? As a tech, when we come out, we checked and made sure that there weren't any additional options turned on, right? Sanitize or high temperature heat that would increase the temperature and prolong the cycle. All right. So if that's none of that stuff is on and it's running for 2 hours, back in the day, we'd be like, that's a problem with the dishwasher. It might be a control, it might be a heating element, might be an issue with the water temperature coming in. So many different things that we think of nowadays, they're running for about 3 hours, right?
Yes.
Your dishwasher, they got a cycle that says a 1 hour cycle, and that's just like a quick wash cycle, right? Like now it's like 3 hours, and the difference between that is because of less water, less energy. So when you do stuff like that, that allows your dishwasher to really have a lot of issues because you got so much going on. Like you have so much going on when you're using your appliances that it does allow a lot of other issues to factor in because you're adding these additional things. But that's one of the things that I kind of like and I love with the new appliances. All right. So I'm not really giving exactly how I really feel about either one as of yet, but I really do like the new ones because of everything that they do. Right. And that's one of the advantages that I will give to the new appliances is that they're more efficient. And they do a lot as far as the technology. I love the technology that's in it. But the older one is like, they last for so long. So me having all these options and me being, get off my lawn, right? Which one is better? You know what I mean? It depends on which one you choose, bro. You know what I mean? It depends on which one you choose.
You little young bucks, get on now. Get your bikes off my grass. Took me 20 years to get that grass right.
Yeah, man. So I kind of like it. The joint again, it depends on what it is that you want. So you know, we're not gonna be on the live long. This is something that we're trying out. This is something that we're gonna do. So I guess we'll probably wrap it up. We've been on for a little minute. We got still work we gotta do. So if I was to say, so which one would you choose if you had an option? The older style appliances versus the new. Who would you go with?
At this point, I pretty much know what I'm getting, so I would have to go with new. Based on the longevity of some of the warranties, if you read your manual, I pretty much know what I'm getting into. My expectation, if I wasn't a service technician, my mind may be completely different because I'm like, well, you know, older ones last longer, but to me, it's more to it. The newer ones with the warranties, the designs, some of the little extra things they worked into, I would have to go with the new, based upon the fact that I'm purchasing with the realization that I may not get 10 years out of this appliance. If I'm thinking about longevity, of course the old, but then you got to deal with the loud noises. If you want to watch TV and your dishwasher and kitchen are merged together, you're just going to be loud. Your living room and your kitchen is right there, and you just like you turn up the TV. And I used to joke with the people and say, "Oh, just turn up the TV." That was funny at first until I bought a place that had a loud dishwasher, and I was like, "Yo, that joint loud." So I'm gonna have to go with new right now because overall, I know what I'm getting. I know that it's all a bunch of plastic, and it's not meant to last forever.
Right.
So.
All right, so let me see. Let me think about it, man. I was a little bit confused. It's not even confused. It's just a matter of just again, we old school, so we're right in the middle, right? So we dealt with a lot of the old ones, and now we're dealing with the new ones. And I'm gonna have to agree with you, to be honest with you, with the new appliances, right? Just because, and it's not because of durability. That's not the issue. But like you said, they got so much to offer, right? So much more to offer in comparison to the older ones, right? You talk about the warranty. If you're talking about refrigerators and talking about compressors and seal systems, condensers, so you know those alone could cost you almost $1,000, depending on a compressor, $500, depending on where you're getting it from, right? They're saving you that much money on those parts. And people might say, well, they're breaking a lot sooner, so that's why they're giving you this extended warranty. Okay, fine. I could probably agree with that. But at the same time, everything that comes with it, you said you have a big tablet, right? So you can hit different buttons. You can set your calendar. You got cameras. You got Wi-Fi connect. You can communicate through your phone with the service company. The LG one with the thin Q, right? And maybe, if you have the representative on the other line, they can tell you exactly what's wrong with it, right? You can turn on, which is remote start your appliance. Like back in the day, ain't nobody thinking about all that. But now you can remote start it from your home. You're running late. You can start the oven up. You can start the dishwasher up, stuff like that. You have appliances that's communicating with each other, right? The washer and dryer is smart enough to tell you what's the best cycle to use for each one, right? So you have to go with the new one because of everything that comes with it. And it's not because of durability, right? The old school got durability, and that's cool. But the new ones, they don't have the durability, but they have the energy, they have to save you money, and they got so many different options, and they're smarter with so many different options that you have, man. I'm gonna have to go with the options because it's almost like eating vanilla ice cream all your life, and then you notice there's so many different options out there. I ain't eaten vanilla ice cream in a long time, bro. I've been eating everything else.
And you know what? I'm gonna have to say also, like you said with the compressor issue, right? Like, all right, well, they breaking fast. Well, can you imagine being in the middle of the summer and you have to make a decision between, all right, do I go and pay almost $1,000 to fix this compressor, or you have a company that said, look, we got the compressor, you just got to pay for the labor. That, you know, you don't want to be stuck with that one that only had a year warranty. You 2 years in, and then I come to your house and say, oh, well, parts labor, you're looking at $1,200. Oh man, I paid $3,000 for it. Well, that's what it's going to take. And you got a newborn or something where you need to keep the milk cold. You know, it's so many factors that go in there. You know, with the dishwasher, you want to be stuck paying for a motor assembly, because I think LG does it a lot with that 10-year on the inverter motor or whatever. But do you want to be stuck paying for a new motor installation, which is like probably a third to 2/3 of the price of the unit? So the older appliances, they didn't have those type of warranties, and they also didn't break as quickly. So by us shifting into the newer age, and they supply these warranties because they know it's a possibility. Man made it, it means it can fail. Plain and simple. So you just have to face the reality that the way things are being made now, it's not about longevity. And another thing, I have to say this, because some appliances, well, not some, a lot of them will work fine if you use them like you're supposed to. If you use your manual, if you listen to Consumer Appliance Report.
Don't be that hard on those people like that, man. Don't
use them like you're supposed to.
Don't tell them they don't.
It ain't no reason. You should not be washing the dog in the dishwasher. No, I'm joking. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of people, which I do, and I'm pretty sure you have done, we don't read the manuals to things.
Oh, yeah.
And we just jump right in like, oh, I know how to use this. But you buy a washing machine that got 30 different settings, and you're like, I just want to wash my socks. And it's like, you didn't pick sanitize and it did shrunk everything in there. You're like, oh, what happened? Because you're not doing it right, and not in a negative fashion, but we had to get adjusted as technicians. How many times you went somewhere and been like, hold on, let me go and look up this thing in the manual. Let me go and check this out real quick. And you're like, well, hold up, this doesn't run. It's not going to run 45 minutes. It's going to actually run 20 minutes, pause, then run some more. And then, that's the end of the cycle. So people have to be aware of that, because you're buying this stuff. I was watching I'm kind of going off topic, but back on topic. I was watching a Judge Mathis show, and the guy on there had crashed his friend's electric unicycle, and the guy wasn't trying to pay for it. And the first thing that came along the means of getting this thing replaced or paid for, Judge Mathis said, did you get on there by yourself and did not know how to stop it? The guy says, yes, I did not know how to stop it. So he said, you got on a vehicle that you don't know how to operate, and then you're upset when the guy says, well, you got to pay me for that. It goes back to using your appliance. If you're not operating them correctly, the manufacturer will void your warranty.
Oh, yeah.
And warranty companies will void your warranty because they're going to say, you're not doing that right.
What is the negligence?
Yeah, customer negligence or customer abuse. That's what it's often called. And it's not, people hear abuse and they're like, oh man, I ain't doing this. No, but it's not a matter of that. Remember, matter of fact, here's a good one. Remember when the HE washers came out and people were still using regular detergent?
Right.
And it was like, this paint, this got mold in it. And it tells you clearly on there on a sticker that says HE, it says only use HE detergent.
But see, that I'm gonna have to kick back a little bit on that, because that transition, I don't think most people were told about that. Like, if you see remember, a lot of appliances have decals on it anyway. And you're right, they should be reading the owner's manual. I do agree with that. So I can't totally put everything on the manufacturer. But remember, it took everybody a minute to switch over to HE soap.
Yeah.
Because we didn't even know at times that it could damage the appliance until we started seeing issues with it. You're using the improper soap. And that's why, again, when we go back to consumer appliance support, man, this is why we go in depth in the owner's manual, especially like the warranty stuff and the functions and features, just to give people an idea on how to really use it. And that's one of the things, again, these are questions that are being posed to us. And that's why we created this channel, because we wanted to help other people, because these are questions that people have. How many times you done went to somebody's house and their control panel was just locked on their appliance, their dishwasher, their stove, they can't use it. And okay, unfortunately, ma'am, you didn't know that was a problem. I came and pressed that button for 5 minutes. Now I got to charge you $100 for me coming out and holding that button because you didn't understand that you accidentally pressed the button or somebody accidentally pressed the button. Now you got to spend $100 for somebody to instruct you about a button.
But Mr. Richie Rich, I want to say that repair does come with a warranty through RAR, Rich's Appliance Repair, and through Tanker. So we give you that 90 days to think about what you did.
Right, it does come with a warranty because we put a warranty on it. You're right, but yeah, and that's the thing. It goes back to just understanding how the appliance work, and this is why we're doing what we're doing. In a nutshell, we're here to just help people out. All right.
Yeah.
Any questions you would like, any new appliances, because we about to close out, man, because it's already like 8:29. So
okay, good.
you would like to purchase, all right, and you have no idea what to look for, check out our channel, shoot us an email at car21136@gmail.com, car21136@gmail.com. Let us know. We'll be able to help you. And like I said, this is something that we're going to do. If you have any issues or problems with the appliances that you might have, let us know. We can probably help you over the YouTube channel and respond back to any questions that you guys might have. But yeah, like I said, this is the first of many, man. I thank you, brother. You know what I'm saying?
My pleasure.
You're here as often as we can to help people out, because we just want to give back and help people out, man. It's all about them, make sure they're getting good quality information for the time that they're spending on our channel.
That's right.
Yeah, man. We out of here, man. Say peace to the people, man.
So man, we out of here like last year. Y'all be cool. And
release, rain and space.
We ready to help y'all. That's our main objective. We're not here. We're not money hungry like some places. I'm not trying to bash, but we're here to genuinely help you so that you can be able to maintain your unit longer and get answers straight from the field, because we in the field all the time. We're seeing these things. We're seeing these new appliances that no one really has feedback on, even down to if it's not a popular brand that anybody, or it's a really expensive brand that people don't really purchase, but it's a good brand or bad brand, because some of them are, you know, just because I paid $10,000 for a car don't mean it's the car that's going to run like it's supposed to. You know, it don't. It's none of that. It's all about what is it made from? What does it consist of? What is it doing? So we're here for y'all. I mean, this is what we do. We've already dedicated a good portion of our lives to it, and we're here to help y'all learn and grow.
All right, we out here, man. Peace.